So this might change absolutely everything for the Indiana Fever in the 2024 WNBA or 2025 WNBA draft. And ironically, the more things change, the more things stay the same when it comes to this. But before we get on to that, though, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Trying to 41k subscribers by the end of the month. If we get it 40.9k by the end of the day, that'll be absolutely insane. But we got to talk about Maddy Westbeld. So Maddy Westbeld was injured for a while. She was injured to start the season, and she was kind of forgotten about. But in almost every mock draft early on, Maddy Westbeld was projected to go to the Fever. A lot of people were looking at that. Like, she was expected to go number 8. Because what she is she is a 6'3 plus stretch 4. Who's can play a bit of defense, who's a really, really good player. And look, her and Sonia Citron were two of the players that were like expected to go in and around that 8 spot. Like, her and Citron before the season were ranked almost identically as players. And I think both of them are going to be WNBA players. But when Maddy Westbeld, she obviously had picked up a bit of an injury early on, and she's just had her first start coming back into it for Notre Dame. And they went to play Georgia Tech, who are the 17th ranked team in the nation, and they beat them comfortably without Hannah Hidalgo. With no Hannah Hidalgo, with Sonia Citron dropping 21, with Olivia Miles having a uncharacteristically quiet game, but with Maddy Westbeld coming in, shooting 2 of 3 from 3 with 20 points. She had 20 points, 5 boards, and was looking again a little bit like the player that the Fever, well, that was originally supposed to be going to that Fever to play that power forward position. So Maddy Westbeld is a guard forward who can move and can play, like, realistically play the 4 and play some decent defense. It's not like she's a Nalissa Smith level cone, and she can spread the floor a little bit. She can take it inside, she can take it out, she's got good touch. And just pure fit wise, especially, look, for me, Citron separated herself with how she played the entire year, but there's a non-zero chance that, like, if they want to make a big run, they need Maddy Westbeld to be their member of the Big Four. With, again, Citron and Westbeld putting up extremely comparable numbers last season with Olivia Miles out. And doesn't maybe quite have the versatility of a Sonia Citron, but she is a shooter. She's a big shooter, and there are not that many of them that exist in the WNBA with, like, years to back it up that is what she's going to be in the W. So her first start with 20 points on 11 shots is impressive, because obviously she's been playing her way back into it. So if you look at the game log, she's only played 4 games this year. So 13, 18, 24, 20. Like, she's playing, what, under 20 minutes a game? Or, am I right in saying that? No, she's playing just over 20 minutes a game, averaging 10.5 points on 54% from the field. And her 3-point shooting, she's what? She is 5 of 13, I think? 5 of 13, which is not too bad. But again, it's a small sample size. But I wouldn't be talking about this like it was anything if it wasn't for the fact that, again, she was mocked to the Fever in basically every mock draft. So I think it is going to be, again, a very, very interesting one to see what happens, because I don't think Citron's going to be available at 8. I think with just her versatility, the fact she can be a first, second, third option, she can show everything, I think Citron is probably going to be taken by the Sky at 3. Or the Mystics at 6. I don't see her getting to 8. Anissa Morrow, especially if Dallas gets the 7th pick, Anissa Morrow's not falling to 8. So if you're the Indiana Fever, it's like, do you go for the long-term shout? Do you go for, like, your long-term kind of player that you might want in an Ija Sivka? Or do you go for someone who will have the most seamless fit? Who is probably going to be maybe to come in, maybe not start at the power forward position, but to come in and be that backup 3-4. So that's one of the things people like the Fever will need to consider, especially with how just her fit with Olivia Moss, her fit with Hidalgo has been great. Her fit with Citron's been great. She can be a fourth option, and this is an elite Notre Dame team. This is an absolute elite Notre Dame team, and expect her points per game this season to even out around the 13, 14 points per game. Like, that is what I would expect from her, because obviously you've got like Sonia Citron, who is probably going to go number 3, but it's purely based on, like, it's purely based again on how, on the player herself. Because if you're saying, oh, she's only averaging X points per game, look, if Maddy Westbeld ends the season averaging 10 points per game, she's probably not going to go number 8. Let's be real, she's probably not. But like, we also have taken into account that everyone's hyping up Sonia Citron, who is averaging 14 a game, and like, she's down from 17 last season. Like, that is what Sonia Citron, like, she's down 3 points per game. But her big thing has been, realistically for her, it's been her defense. And when it comes to Maddy Westbeld, like last season, she was averaging 14.4 points per game and nearly 9 rebounds per game on 45% from the field and 37% from 3, which is extremely impressive for a big who can also kind of play like a big, who plays a big on defense a lot of the time, plays offensively like a 3 at times, but also has got like averages over a block a game. So it is, for the last 3 seasons, she's been averaging over a block a game for Notre Dame. So it is a really interesting one. I do think that if you are the Fever, Maddy Westbeld's going to be one of those players that's in consideration. I don't think she's going to be the first choice. I don't think she's going to be the second choice. And she is, again, someone who was a 3-time first team All ACC member. Like, she was 3-time All ACC team member. I think she was in the same class actually as Caitlin Clark. So this is her COVID year. But like, had she come out of the draft last year, she's probably a first round pick last year. So it is a real interesting one when it comes to Maddy Westbeld, what we see. But I would say, look, because I don't see the Fever going for a Cheyenne Sellers, as good as Cheyenne Sellers is. There are a lot of picks there are a lot of players where it's like, look, what the Fever need is, they need spacing, they need energy. You get spacing with your Citron. I think their first choice is probably going to be Morrow or Citron, second choice, one or the other at 8 if they're there. And I think if neither of them are there, it goes into that stage in the draft where it's like between picks 5 and 25, you could get anyone. And there's a possibility that it ends up being, we're going to go for fit and take a Maddy Westbeld, especially with the way Maddy Westbeld is looking, like the fact that she's healthy. That is a huge thing. But anyway, that is the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.